I was recently talking to a missionary, a Mormon missionary, here in my neighborhood. I've been talking to him for a couple of months now, and we got on the subject of bondage, and we kind of, talked back and forth regarding the different types of bondage, the types of bondage that I've seen, that he's seen. And something that he said just struck me in the middle of the conversation. He said something around about that, that's why he's so proud to be Mormon, because he doesn't have to worry about things like bondage. And we started talking a little more, and the conversation carried on, and it went from a simple dialogue to almost an argument. So evidently I had to kind of push away from that discussion and move to other things. We were running low on time anyway, and I didn't want to really argue with him, and maybe I should, because it is important. But I like to point out some of the things that I've seen as far as bondage goes within the LDS Church. When you're speaking to LDS and they say that they're not in bondage, there's some key things that we have to look at, and we have to discern for ourselves whether or not it's bondage. When you have to pay tithe, when you have to pay 10%, that's bondage. When you have to be a member of that church in order to obtain salvation, you cannot go outside the LDS Church for salvation. That's bondage. When the church says you have to have a temple recommend, you have to have temple ordinances to obtain salvation, that's bondage. When the teachers, the professors of the Mormon faith tell you in order to attain deity, you must be sealed in the temple, that's bondage. When your scriptures read the way they do, it's bondage. And just for example, I've got here open in front of me, this is the Pearl of Great Price, Joseph Smith History. It's section 1, verse 19. I'll read it here. It says, "I was answered that I must join none of them, for they were all wrong. And the personage who addressed me said that all their creeds were an abomination in the sight, that those professors were all corrupt, that they draw near to me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They teach for doctrines the commandments of men, having a form of godliness, but they deny the power thereof." And basically what that scripture is teaching is that outside the Mormon Church, all the professors are corrupt and all of our creeds are an abomination. So when you think about it, and you think about that little 6-year-old girl, and she's praying with her parents at night, and they're reading scripture, it's not doing them any good, because the creeds they're learning are an abomination, and the parents who are teaching her as professors to her, they're corrupt. And the only way to obtain salvation is to join the Mormon Church. You'll never go to a Christian church. You'll never be part of a Christian church that says, only with us can you be saved. Only with us will you obtain salvation. And I did a pretty good study on most of the big sects or the big denominations of my religion, and I've never came across that. Only in Mormonism have I ever seen that. The conversation carried on a little farther, and I wanted to read something here, and this is the best definition I found of bondage, and I found it in the Marian Online Dictionary. It says, a state of subjection to a force, power, or influence. And that's just what it is when you're talking about the church, is influence. Influence. Saying the things they say, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to will this way, you have to will that way, you have to run this way, you have to run that way. And if you don't, you won't have salvation. And when Christianity teaches that through faith in Jesus Christ are we saved. Simple as that. And with that faith, you will exhort good works, of course. I wanted to resurface that dialogue I had with the young man, and just bring out some key points, just in case you run into a situation that's similar, you'll know some of the things you can say. And there are many other things. You can research it. You can open it up. Just look up bondage in any type of source, whether it be Christian or online or anything like that, and you'll see the differences or the reality of bondage within the LDS Church. Thanks for watching. God bless.